What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today when I talk to you about NIO, I want to give you an overview of some of the current data points, break it down on what the hell is happening and what shorts are up to. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is currently down 7.36%. It is recovering from its lows of $6.11. So once I go over the technicals, that'll make a little bit more sense. And then 634 so far is the high. A lot of volume, so 41.3 million shares being traded, 85.3 is the average. You are seeing some good buys, at least on the secondary market. So 3/4 of the transactions so far above $100,000 are buys. So big money is buying the dip, if that kind of makes sense. A couple big ones. So 107,000, 151,000, and then 115,000 for premiums. And all of this volatility that did happen so far today had nothing to do with NIO specific. So no news, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. So it is just kind of piggybacking off of the negative momentum, and a lot of that negative momentum did kind of surge from last night because of this. So there was a press conference, and ultimately it was in regards to the whole stimulus, giving a little bit more clarity, but at the end there was no clarity given, and so in reality that's what's spooking the hell out of the broader market. And keep in mind, there was two main kind of points that really drove NIO higher. It didn't happen at the same time, but stimulus really just pushed NIO and just other Chinese stocks higher as well. Afterwards, I think a couple days after, then the whole European tariffs were essentially taken off, or at least an article that came out saying that. And so that again gave NIO a secondary boost higher. But since then, the tariffs have been momentarily placed back on. I think it's only at 45 or 50%, so nothing crazy to what it once was. But at the same time, the stimulus, this optimism going away is somewhat detrimental. But based on at least what is happening here on the secondary market, big money is somewhat buying the dip. So let me know your guys' thoughts if you think that this is a justified sell-off or if it's good or not. A couple big key data points in the States is coming out in the next couple of trading days. So that could really help with the overall algos, maybe pushing NIO higher. Again, I have stated that in the past because majority of the volume does come from either shorts or algos for in NIO's case. But shorts though, they don't really see this as a unjustified sell-off. So yeah, they are increasing right now, 711,000 shares. First thing when I did look, they were increasing just shy of around 2 million shares. So they were really doubling the hell down. But since then, they are kind of returning, so probably this is a lot of which shorts returning and just algos and just clearly some entities actually buying as well. So like I said, right now shorts are increasing around 711,000 shares. 12.66% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 169.02 million shares. Cost to borrow average is a little bit higher than yesterday, so 3.32%, and then utilization is 95.62. Through IBKR does indicate in excess of 10 million shares is available. So if shorts really did feel it was more of a justified sell-off and was going to be due to go down to maybe 5, then there's more than enough ammunition for them to double down. And actually it looks like they're just increasing still, so now 844,000. So prior to the hype and everything, the short interest on NIO was roughly around 13%. So maybe that's where shorts are trying to bring it back to. We'll just have to wait and see. Moving over to options, the market's been open roughly around 1 hour. 3.41 million in calls, 1.39 million in puts. So dollar value wise is a little bit lower than the norm for NIO, but 46% of all the options being done so far today are bearish. Of the call options that are being purchased, so you do see consensus for it to be kind of around that 7 to 750 range. Some optimism for the 8, but no substantial amounts for that. But looking at puts, you see a consensus for it to be sub $6. So not necessarily the best. So based on this information, there's a little bit more downside anticipated. But then again, options is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. So again, just kind of keep that into consideration. Right now with it at $6.29, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So I'm looking at the 1-day chart on a side note, but just wanted to kind of show you this because it did bounce off of this pivot point. So $6.12 is a strong support, and it did in fact bounce off of that. So that's one thing that usually does happen whenever you bounce off of a very strong support or resistance point. Kind of consolidates a little bit. So that's exactly what is happening right here. But in general, just moving over to the 4-hour just to give you a closer look. So right now with it at 629, it is trading between these 2 points. So this S2 and this S1. So $6.46 is going to be that next strong target slash resistance. 615 will be another following support. Not as strong as that 1-day, of course, but on the actual chart itself, a lot of consolidation over the last little bit. And if you want to think of something glass half full kind of scenario, like optimistic, because of all this consolidation, it has reset the technicals fairly well on the stochastic. So it is at roughly around 55, so neutral, not what it was as overbought, but still higher percentile. Number of retail investors, oddly, are looking like they're getting out minorly, but I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Are you guys selling? Are you guys buying? What's your overall viewpoint? And like I've stated in the past, as long as it still does maintain higher highs and higher lows, so 550-ish will be that key point to really watch for on the technicals, but I don't think anyone really wants it to get back down to the 5s. And if it does, probably going back over here, the short interest will be at 13 plus. So we'll just have to wait and see ultimately how this all does play out. But in my opinion, it is somewhat optimistic to see that big money is kind of buying. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you think that this is a justified sell-off? Again, the basis of why this is going down is because there wasn't anything concrete that was like laid out for the whole stimulus that could be easily rectified. So yes, maybe right now is somewhat of a justified pullback, but again, it could be easily fixed by just doing another press conference and saying, hey, this is what we're doing, this is the plan, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Take advantage of this promo. It does give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal. As well, if you do like my channel, my NIO content, and want to support the growth of the channel, I did have launched some other levels for members. So I highly recommend you guys taking a look at that. With all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching.